All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Keyboard Warriors Live, episode 209. Stockton 209. No, I'm not going to do that to you guys. My name's Eddie Law. I'm your host. He's going to start off a little solo here. We're going to wait for Fred Kirby and Jesse Rubacaba to show up here, but we are live on all over the place. So make sure you guys are come hanging out with us. If you are on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, wherever you are, hit us with a thumbs up, send a message, say what's up. If you're on YouTube, obviously hit subscribe, tell your friends about us. We always love having more and more people, new people especially, hit up in the chat. It's become a thing. You can go on the chat, hang out, shoot the shit, see what's up. Hey, thanks a lot, guys. I was fucking around with that today. I got to work on something a little better than that, but I just realized StreamYard lets you have an intro, so we're gonna do that shit. All right, so again, this is Keyboard Warriors Live, episode 209. I am your host, Eddie Law, the Keyboard Warriors. Waiting for Jesse and Fred to show up here. I know they're running a little bit. It's all good. Who knows where Jesse's going to come from? I mean, last time he came from, I think the one weird time was like the beach and all that. So, by the way, California's like emptying out. People are bailing. They're bailing hard. It's weird. Anyway, welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. It's a lot of shit that happened this last weekend. Obviously, UFC 252. Stipe retains. And a lot of controversy in that fight, ranging from the eye pokes, from the from DC retiring or not retiring. Who knows? No one's really convinced that he's actually gone. Obviously, Stipe and the GOAT talk is the greatest in UFC. I mean, I think he's the greatest UFC heavyweight of all time, but overall, we'll talk about that as soon as Fred gets here and Jesse. Of course, other fights that happened on the card. Sean O'Malley's injury, which a lot of people thought that maybe he came into the fight injured, which I thought was the deal. I think that's what happened. And I was like, damn, Vera's not going to get any credit for this win because, O'Malley got injured. Except it looks like Vera's the one that caused the injury. So we'll talk about that, of course, and break that down a little bit here. I was going to try and get video of that, of Vera doing that, but I'm pretty sure that'll pull us the hell off of YouTube and everywhere else real fast. So we're not going to do that. But we'll definitely talk about that here. Rosenstruck, of course, getting the TKO win. Right, let's just go over the card now. Shit, we won't wait. We're not going to wait. We're going to get right to it. All right. Let's kick off with the early prelims. 2 fights in the early prelims. I don't even know if these are still on Fight Pass or not. These are on friggin' ESPN Plus anyway. Kai Kamaka comes out with a decision win over Tony Kelly. I think that was Fight of the Night. I'm going to have to figure that out in a little bit. But dope fight, honestly. Tony Kelly brought it. Kai Kamaka just had a little more than he did, so that was a cool fight. Chris Dawkins gets a first round TKO over Parker Porter. Most appropriate name for heavyweight. That dude cut from 300 pounds to 290 and from obviously 10 pounds, but 290 to 265. He was 280 something, and he looked every bit of it on fight night. So on a short notice fight, I forgot who Dawkins' original opponent was, but Parker Porter put in some work. You got to give him credit, and I really hope to give him another shot. He definitely deserves it. Let's see. Let's see. What else we got? What's up, gods? Yes, I do read the chat. What's up? Did you read the chat? That's weird. Anyway. Then, of course, Livia Henata Sousa gets the decision win over Yoder, who I don't know. At 7-6, I give women's strawweight division. Nothing too crazy about that. But, yeah, I don't know. Danny Chavez is a prospect we definitely need to be looking into. Something about that dude is he's just fast, quick, gas tank like no other, but he has all kinds of power. Definitely someone we need to look into and keep an eye on. He came in on short notice. To have that kind of gas tank power and speed on short notice, that was crazy. I don't know. I have a feeling that dude is normally a 35er, but I haven't looked into his record yet. But he beat TJ Brown, and TJ Brown ain't no punk. All right. Then Brenda Jandiroba gets the submission, first round submission win over Felice Herrig, who she kind of gets, it's almost like she comes in every single fight with like a butt. Like she comes in injured. She comes in, it seems like she hey, what's up? What's good? You know what? Just hang out and I guarantee you pick it up as we go. No worry. But it's but that's the deal. You have to be a certain weight to be in a weight class. Oh, here we go. What's up?
What up? Can you hear me?
Ladies and gentlemen, joining us live. Yeah, I can hear you. What you sound like you're in space?
Awesome. I want to be in space. Just in my creeper van.
Oh, okay. Okay.
In
there
the
you
van.
Go. There you go. people still get weirded out by that van. All right. What's up, Frederick? Anyway, everyone, welcome to the Keyboard Warriors. Just hanging out. Jesse just joined us, waiting on Fred here. So, did you watch any of the card? But I'm pretty sure. Actually, I think you were camping, weren't you?
Yeah, I was out in the middle of nowhere. In our chat, I was asking you guys what was going on. I think I got to see a couple things. I got to see Luke Thomas's breakdown of the fight, the main event, and I got to see DC's the best impersonation of Forrest Whitaker I've ever seen in my life in his post-fight interview.
Right, be cold about that, man. Everyone's making fun of DC's Forrest Whitaker eye. That's fucked up. What's up, Fred?
What's up, boys?
Joining us straight from Ohio, Fred. I'm sorry, I'm just going through the card here. Out of the early fights, guys. I know Fred watched it. What fight, like early prelims and prelims, did you enjoy the most?
Are you asking me?
Yeah.
Let's see. I liked I can't pronounce nobody's fucking goddamn cocksucking name.
Who?
The one broad. I mean, she was, she had the funny eye too that was dancing.
Jandaroba?
Jandaroba, yeah. She was fucking super impressive. I love any sort of high level Brazilian jiu-jitsu. I've said this before. I love seeing that shit. There's nothing like seeing somebody who's really a beast with their BJJ. Like when the fight hits the mat, it's about to get real. I love that shit. Plus, she's got the look. And I'm not really being funny. Like you can go two ways about that shit. Real talk. Like in MMA, as a woman, you can either be, Paige Van Zant and Valerie Latordo, or you could be Cyborg or Janarobia. Either way, the effect is still the same. If you're fucking fierce and you look a little disgusting, but you're a bad motherfucker, I tell you what, I'll be front and center for her next goddamn fight.
Shit.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck off. So will you too, Jesus, and don't act like you wasn't thinking the same thing. I'm getting tired of you're holier than thou horse shit, fucking Jesus.
No. I was just my little thing just popped up for the news and stuff. Here in LA, the mayor just shut off the power to a Hollywood Hills home that was hosting all those parties. I don't know if you guys kind of saw it on the news where they were hosting parties. Yeah. So now the mayor is dictating where the power goes and shutting power off to specific houses, which is probably not good.
Good. That's what you get. Motherfucker, they told you dumb motherfuckers not to be partying. Thank you, all that money. Boo, power got shut off, bitch. Guess who ain't having a pool party no more? Fucking Luke Skywalker, or whatever the fuck your name is, you dumb twat. Just because you're rich off of being a YouTube cunt.
Whose house was it? Do they know?
I don't know.
I know that fucking Jake Paul twat donkey had a fucking party. I hope it was his power they cut off.
Yeah,
put that on your fucking YouTube channel.
Shit, I know someone that was there. Unfortunately, someone actually know. It's fucking stupid. Anyway, yeah. So the thing about that, and it's just this whole, we were so unprepared for like a pandemic that fucking everyone's acting, just reaching for everything, right? You can agree with it, which look, I get it. People aren't acting right. They're not following like common sense and taking care of themselves and each other and other people. But damn, that's the edge right there of like you know what I mean, like of people's rights, sort of. But at some point it gets kind of crazy.
You know what? Let me tell you something. Again, I say this all the time. We don't want to get political, but y'all better be glad Daddy Fred ain't the king of America. Because I tell you what I think about your rights. Fuck your rights. We told y'all a couple times, no fucking parties. You party, we cut your fucking lights off. You don't like it? There's a whole bunch of room in China. God damn it, Russia, whole bunch of places. Go on, move over there. Try it. Over there, they won't just cut your power off. They'll cut your fucking head off. So shut the fuck up, follow the rules, do as you're told, and it is what it is. It's like these anti-masker pricks. Do I like wearing a mask in Kroger's when I got to go get my fucking pork butt? Of course not. But I put it on because it's the goddamn fucking rules. And if I got to wear one, so do you goofy hillbillies. Shut the fuck up about it.
Yeah, so that's our political rant for the night. Maybe it might be more. Who knows? But yeah, we don't tunes. We don't normally bring that up too much, but I get it. All right, let's see.
Jandarobia. Is that how you say her name?
Jandaroba, something like that.
Jandarobia. Anyways, all bullshit aside, very nice prospect that women's strawweight, and they and they need it. Or no, I'm sorry, strawweight don't need it. Flyweight needs it. But nonetheless, always another fucking plus. We have another female star in the MMA game.
Right. What do you think of Felice Harry? I think I mean, she came in like no like her gym shut down, no coaches, nothing. It was weird.
Well, my natural inclination would say Bellator. I know it's a fucking funny joke I always say, but real talk seems like it makes a lot of sense. But I tell you what,
right?
Paige Van Zandt turned the fucking game upside down. Fuck it, go to bare knuckle boxing. Bare knuckle box, fucking PVZ. What the fuck? What have we got to lose at this point?
Dude, a lot of people were getting like kind of on the Paige Van Zandt thing. People were kind of doing what we were like. Well, what does she have to gain? And then I found out, or everyone found out, that she has like allegedly like a multi-million-dollar contract with them, which probably means like $2 million or so, to maybe $2-3 million. Look, first of all, hey, I get it now. I totally get what you go over there. Just hopefully, she don't get damaged too bad.
Yeah, hopefully, fucking bare knuckle boxing, whatever the fuck, doesn't go under, and she doesn't have to sue them to get the money because it's a goddamn fucking pandemic. The UFC's having trouble getting numbers right now. What the fuck? Bare knuckle boxing might be fucked.
Yeah. Felice burnt me there. I really thought she could avoid the stub. I didn't at all. Not against Jandaroba. That chick, if you ever like YouTube her in like tournaments, scary ass chick in a tournament, in a jiu-jitsu tournament where you know what they're gonna do and you still can't stop it. She literally, I don't even think she threw a strike. Did she? No, she did actually, didn't she?
It wasn't many though.
It wasn't many at all.
Quick and went to work.
Most of her strikes were on the ground, like ground and pound, like on the ground. It was immediate takedown and then popping her in the face. So that's what went down. And Vince Pichel gets the decision win over Jim Miller because I was bummed out, but he kind of put it to Jim Miller. All right, first fight on the main card, and of course brings up Otis's loser of the weekend. Who's your loser of the weekend? How is it not John Dodson for that numbskull fight approach?
Yeah, John Dodson's like that though, isn't he? He always has a weird sort of vibe to his fights. He was really hot for a minute, and then he just started having these weird sort of fights. I will say, Merab needs to fucking take a chill pill, though. Did you see him after the fight, the way he was carrying on, screaming like he just got done knocking out fucking Jon Jones and Mike Tyson at the same time? Youngblood, chill. You won that fight by a fucking cunt hair to a 132-year-old fucking John Dodson, the magician my ass. No longer. That motherfucker, he's getting a little long in the tooth, Jack. Merab looked good. Merab, whatever his name is. He looked good. But to be completely fucking fair, he didn't look great. To be the next big thing, he didn't really, that statement wasn't made for me. He looked good, but I'm not sold yet.
Right. He did all he could to sell it for sure. Does he?
No, I mean, I don't know. I didn't watch any of the fights, so continue on.
Okay. All right. We'll talk about that in a second, actually, there, Otis. Next fight up was Herbert Burns comes in overweight and then gets TKO'd in the second round by Daniel Pineda, who has been in the game forever.
Isn't his brother his brother also missed weight?
Gilbert?
Yeah. Is this like a family tradition of just missing weight?
Okay, to be fair, and I'm not trying to make excuses for him, he looked injured to me. Like, to me, when a fighter like goes like blitzes, just balls out for the one thing they're really, really, really good at from like the get-go, because they don't want to have to work their way into it. You know what I'm saying? Now, he tried to jump his back a bunch of times, right? I mean, well, he just didn't fucking watch it. But you know what I'm saying? Like that to me, I don't know. To me, he looked injured, but that's just me.
Listen. Two things here. A, Herbert Burns fucked me. As we all know, I enjoy a good parlay on the cards. I bet on all the fucking fights. I run them all down and bet 50 cents or $1 and try to win me a few hundred fucking bucks. I was doing real good on a couple of my cards right till I got to this fucking fight. And old Herbert Burns, old Gilbert's little fucking ugly twin. You know what I fucking learned in this fight? You can never trust the brother of a fighter. If there's a fighter that's good and he's got a brother that fights, he's shit every time. Who's the greatest brother combination in MMA? I was talking about somebody with this the other day. Is it the Diaz? Is it the Diaz brothers or the Nogueiras? I think it's definitely one of those two, right? There's nobody else that compares.
I would say that those are pretty close together. Those brothers are two of the most successful ones we know.
I mean, there's been a lot. You've got Dan and Jim Miller. You've had, but everybody. There's always a no offense, but there's always a shitbird brother. You know what I mean? There's like one that's good, and then there's one that was like, meh.
Who is it in the Pettis brothers?
Oh, Sergio's the shitbird, no doubt about it. I mean, he's a good kid, but come on now, you already know right. He's a shitbird. He's never going to be a real champ. Like Pettis, Anthony was actually, he might be a bit of a shitbird now, but at one point in time, if y'all remember, Anthony Pettis was on the front of the motherfucking Wheaties box. There was a time where I thought Anthony Pettis was about to be that dude at 55.
Oh, dude, what about the Shamrock brothers? They did pretty good.
Trash.
Really?
No, not trash. Not
because they're pioneers.
Not trash. But I don't. They were a little early in the game. It's almost like comparing what fucking Pistol Pete Maravich did to fucking Jordan and them. They're a bit early. Yes, because Ken Shamrock. Ken Shamrock's cute, and then Frank took a fucking beating from Nick. If you wanted to compare them directly, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Well, I would say Nogueira because they're the ones that you would consider would have the most success, right? That they had more titles between the two of them.
And
that's true. And Pride, right. But I would say the Diaz brothers had way more success in the UFC, where one could argue that it actually counted. And out of all the motherfuckers, Nate Diaz is probably the only one that could actually still compete at a high level to this very day.
Right. Unfortunately, we haven't seen Nick in God knows how long. And even though there's rumors of him getting another fight, I ain't holding my breath.
Well, I mean, if you want to see Nick, you just go to the clubs up near Stockton, and you'll see him.
Apparently, he ain't doing that no more. Apparently, he's out training. I don't know. Anyway, Otis says, "Who's your winner of the weekend? And how is it not Daniel Pineda for the outstanding return to the UFC?" Right, he was out of the UFC. That dude was dope.
Moral of the story: don't trust the brother of a fighter. If that fighter is good and he's got a brother that fights, fucking be real easy on that pick. I picked that shit. And like you said, fucking Eddie, old Herbert got him to the ground. Yep. It's not like he got a beating early. He had his chance. He ain't, he ain't no fucking Gilbert. All due respect.
Daniel Pineda is legit on the ground, so I don't understand why people thought he was going to get finished on the ground like that. All right. Then we get to JDS with Rosenstrick. JDS coming in technical as fuck, and it still doesn't matter. Rosenstrick comes in, knocks him the fuck out. Fred, coming up a loss to pick up a win over JDS is pretty solid. Then the dude comes out, doesn't call anybody out. He says he wouldn't mind fighting Ngannou for the title at some point, which I think would be dope. But I just got to see Rosenstrick come back and get a win like that, because I was really hoping he wasn't just one of those guys on a hot streak and then he got stopped by a batter motherfucker. What do you think about Rosenstrick?
He looked good. I thought Junior looked good too, man. This was
he looked really good.
Yeah, it's just this shows you the sadness almost of heavyweight. Yeah. Like I thought Junior fought a good fight, and then it'd be like that at heavyweight. You're fighting a good fight, and then boom, 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 you catch one or two shots, and I suppose it's just like that in MMA in general. But at heavyweight, it's so like that. Like it was a pretty close fight right up until fucking Rosenstrick ended it. He caught him with that big punch, a couple more punches, and that was all she fucking wrote. And it seems like that's how it be at heavyweight, man. Rosenstrick looked good. He needed that win. He isn't going to get a title shot. Heavyweight's really weird right now anyways. But there's a few cats for Rosenstrick that he can fucking fight next. I mean, there's a bunch of options for him. I'm more concerned with JDS now. Everybody's been saying he should retire forever. I've always thought that was premature. I don't think he should retire. But at this point, I do think we can probably – he ain't going to be fighting for the belt anytime soon. No. You know what I mean? And so now what do we do with him? I don't think we want Bellator to get him. I don't think the UFC wants to let him go. There's definitely no depth of talent at heavyweight per se. So I don't know. I guess Junior becomes a gatekeeper now, I suppose. Like when you got those up and coming heavyweights, you give them to JDS, and that's kind of what purpose he's going to serve from here on in, I suppose.
I'm not mad if Jones don't get a title shot right away and he wants to get a heavyweight fight sooner than later, and JDS is available. That's a big name to catch.
I would say, like you were saying on Monday's show, I think, Eddie, I would say either JDS or Verdum if Verdum doesn't go to Bellator. I know you guys were talking about that. I didn't hear the rest of it, but
yeah.
Fighting a former champion as your first step into the heavyweight division is a good way of like kind of stamping yourself as like a top contender and saying like, I'm here at the heavyweight division, take that title. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shit. Where the fuck did all the there it is. Did y'all see Michael Rappaport trying to rag on DC?
Yeah.
I forgot all about Michael Rappaport until today. Like I realized I know him from movies. I didn't know he was talking sports.
That's such an ignorant comment. I almost wonder if he was trolling. I mean,
he's always trolling.
He seems like he gets paid to troll. He gets paid to troll at this point. I mean, from what I've seen,
it's not too hard to figure out why DC is revered.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, his exact tweet was, "How can DC? No disrespect, but how can DC be considered the greatest of all time when he has so many losses?"
3.
And it's like, well, yeah, you know, well, 4, right? Like, I mean, I guess the one. But he got beat by Jon Jones twice,
right?
And he got beat by Stipe Miocic twice,
right.
Jon Jones, the goddamn living GOAT, and he was probably on steroids. What are you gonna do? And Stipe, the greatest heavyweight of all time, currently living. I mean, it takes zero research to figure out why. And again, he's probably not the GOAT, but he's one of them. He's fucking one of them, whether you like that or not. No matter how you cut the cake, top 5 dead or alive, Jack.
Yeah. No, and it's actually 3 losses. The one, the knockout loss to Jones was overturned because of steroids.
Yeah, I know, but you know what I mean. Fuck off with that.
Jones
beat him twice and Stipe beat him twice, and there's fucking zero shame in that, Jack. Jones beats everybody. That's like taking a loss to Khabib. What are you gonna do?
He lost to 2 GOATs. What are you gonna do?
Well, yeah. What are you gonna do? Fuck it.
Yeah. All right. Co-main event: Sean O'Malley takes the L to Marlon Vera in a TKO. So this is the one that was a lot of. It was very much like, watching it live was weird because it was the same. As soon as I saw him, the fucking foot twist like that and drop, I'm like, all right. First of all, that foot is broken as fuck. Second of all, it's the same foot he injured last time. So I'm like, God damn it, that foot's still fucked up. Then videos in the that night, and then for 2-3 days afterwards, videos are coming out of actually Vera looked like he's the one that caused the injury, or at least what led to the injury. But Fred, are you at all taken away from Vera's victory over O'Malley because of the injury?
Okay, so I don't know. I need to think about this. I went on Loudmouth earlier this week, Sunday, and I had completely stripped Vera of his win.
Right.
Because I thought that Sean just blew his fucking knee out or his fucking ankle or whatever. It looked like he just fucked up his shit and fucking fell down. Then he got up, and then the fight was essentially over at the beginning of the next round, right?
Right.
Or no, it didn't even go to the next round. He got the takedown. He lands the big elbow. I thought at first, just the first time I watched it, it looked like he just injured himself, a freak accident.
Right.
Now, like you said, then people start coming out with the videos and they're showing Marlon kicking Sean in the calf and the ankle and hitting him with the leg kicks. Now, here's the fucking deal. I don't think there's any way to tell whether those kicks are what caused Sean O'Malley's leg to give out, or whether his shit was just fucked up anyways, whether it didn't heal properly, whether he was training too hard or too soon. We'll never really know that, right? We know that Marlon landed the kicks, but we don't Marlon didn't land a kick and then Sean went to put his leg down and it gave out. It definitely wasn't visual. Now, Marlon was landing kicks during the fight, but when Sean's fucking ankle rolled and his leg got all weirdy, nothing was happening.
Right.
He was fucking jumping around and dancing around like he had been doing the whole fucking first round. So I don't know. I don't want to take credit away from Chito if those leg kicks are actually what damaged his leg, but I also don't know that to be a fact. His leg could have been a little fucked up coming into the fight. He was doing a shit ton of movement, doing his fucking best Dominic Cruz impression, and it was working very well. He was throwing lots of fucking kicks. I mean, a few of those kicks he threw landed on the fucking forearms and shit like that. I mean, we don't really know what fucked his leg up. All I do know is that when he fucking fell, nothing made him fall. It wasn't a strike. It looked like he just rolled his ankle and he dropped. Then he got back up, and basically that was the end of the fight. Now, credit to Cheeto for landing that vicious elbow when he did get the takedown. But to be fair, it kind of looked like the fight was essentially over at that point.
Right.
So, that being said, I suppose it depends on where you root, right? If you're a Sean O'Malley fan, you're probably like, fuck off. The leg was bad. Them little pussy-ass leg kicks didn't do shit. If you're a Cheeto fan, you're probably like, fuck off. Them leg kicks are what led to that little pussy-ass skinny leg getting dropped, and that's how you lose a fight. That's how you win it. I don't really know. I don't want to take credit away from Cheeto, but it was definitely a little fucking weirdy-beardy at best.
All right, Jesse, what do you think from what you've seen?
You know what, you're gonna have to show me those videos. But going by what Fred is saying, I think he's right. And here's the thing: it's kind of like the what was it, Tyron Woodley and Carlos Condit thing, where Carlos Condit blew out his knee after Tyron Woodley kicked him, right?
Yeah.
And
so that's exactly what it's like, Jesus. I was trying to think of that earlier. It's the chicken or the egg. That's exactly it.
And this is the thing. In that instance, I didn't want to give Tyron Woodley the credit for that win because I was a Carlos Condit fan at that point. And now, hearing what happened, I definitely want to give Cheeto the win here and saying that what he did caused the injury to O'Malley and whatever, blah, blah, blah. And I can't do that. I have to, we kind of got to keep it even here. So I gotta go with what, Fred is saying, that it's possible that O'Malley maybe just hasn't healed properly and, needs to really tone down and come back better. But the thing is, in the situation that he's in, being pushed as hard as he's being pushed, it's possible that we have seen maybe that he's going to be like a Cain Velasquez or something, where if he doesn't take care of his body, doesn't take care of himself, he might like overtrain and overexert himself and have these recurrent injuries, right? We don't want that. So hopefully O'Malley's going to take the time to heal, recover, and come back when he's 100% better, and take care of these things instead of like, I'll be okay in a couple weeks, I'm fine, and just kind of moving through it.
So I was on MMA on the Rocks last Sunday, and we talked about this, and Bill came up with a really good point. Now we mentioned Dominic Cruz, right, at 135. He's a tall 35, right? We can agree on that.
Yep.
So is Sean O'Malley. O'Malley's like what, 5'8", almost 6 foot, whatever he is. He's a tall ass bantamweight. Is it possible he is at too light of a weight? You know what I'm saying? Like, is it possible that he should probably move up to 45, not for weight cut issues, but maybe nutrition issues? You know what I'm saying? That maybe like there's something like because he's so like he has to stay so light all the time that maybe it's causing like his body to not be able to handle that kind of stress. Do you think it's possible? I don't know. We were talking about that. We don't know the science behind it, but still.
Maybe. I've heard. Go ahead, Jesus.
I would say the only way that we would be able to see that is if he was having trouble making weight. If he's looking like Connor on weight day where he looks like he's dying or he's basically dead and they're dragging him up to the scale, but it never looks like that, right? It looks like he has that high metabolism that he's able to just keep a low weight down. And it doesn't look like he balloons after the fights, right? It looks like he stays kind of around the same. And he's always, he's a young kid. So he hasn't even grown into his man body or whatever you would call it, right? Like he doesn't have that man strength yet. And so I think it's interesting of a point, but I think if we were to see him like really struggling to make the weight, then that would be more of like an indication that he's cutting too hard to get there. But it seems like he's always around that weight, like, maybe like 30 pounds over. So I don't think that might be an issue. I think the issue might be, like Fred said, maybe he came back too fast, seeing as how the UFC wanted him on the card. And he's such a popular kid, he wants to make this money. He's a young kid, man. Like, you go in his ear and you go, hey, you're going to be the main event on, on this title fight. Do you think you're going to be ready? At that age, you're going to be like, hell yeah, I'm going to be ready. Let's smoke some weed up, get some training in, wrap up my knee or whatever, and I'll be fine, and he kind of, pushes it off.
That's possible.
I honestly, too, man, like, I don't think he wants it at 45, dog.
I don't either. No, I don't either. I don't either. I just it was something we like threw out, and I think Kenflo talked about it too.
Yeah, I'd heard people throw that out there, but like, dog, Volkanovski and the Korean Zombie, they're thicker than a Snickers, Jack. Like, I don't think he really, do some calf pull-ups or some calf lifts or something. Work them leg. Don't be skipping leg day so much. No, all bullshit aside, too, man. Do shit to strengthen your legs. I mean, or look, here's the reality, too, man. Maybe the kicks did do it. Maybe they did. So I don't really know. But if they did it, work on strengthening your legs and those nerves and those muscles and shit, man. That's, what are you gonna do?
You know what, though, Fred? I think you bring up an interesting point. But I mean, Eddie could explain this a little bit better. But there are some people that just aren't designed to have that strategy of like a Dominic Cruz, right? You've seen a lot of people that try to implement that strategy, and their just muscles are just not designed for that. They're not designed for that constant output, and that strain and everything might be too much. So maybe he should get maybe go down to the UFC PI, get a good indicator of all his ligaments and tendons, because they have some really advanced technology there, and they can see if maybe his strategy of trying to imitate Dominic Cruz is just not good enough. Because you see how Dominic, even with all his training and stuff, he's still pretty injury prone to those legs. He's got plantar fasciitis and all that stuff.
Yeah, I was gonna say Dominic Cruz can't handle Dominic Cruz's style. Right. Like, apparently that style is not good for nobody's fucking feet.
Right. It's heavy stress on your body, man. All the training you got to put in everything. And O'Malley puts in work. He puts in mad work. All right, I'm gonna catch up on a bunch of comments here real quick. Talk about the Shamrock Brothers. JDS on a 3-fight scale. What's next for him? Hopefully, another good fight. Interesting fight at this point.
Maybe just a decent fight, and if he gets knocked out again, he might be fucking waking up in Bellator
or done. Herb Burns got smoked like a blunt on a keyboard words by Fred.
That's a fact, Jack.
Biggie Boy, the real deal, Holyfield. So far, so good. We'll see. I'd like to see the Ngannou rematch. Speaking of rematches, I wouldn't mind. I'm 99.9% sure we're gonna get Barra versus O'Malley later in the future. I don't think O'Malley could handle letting that one go like that.
And I'm down for it. They need to run that back.
Yeah, he could. Question most guys ranked above 5. JDS got skills, right? Michael Rapport is fucking clown shoes. Yeah. Rapper low-key MMA fan, but he don't know shit. Heard him interview Lewis and didn't even know what weight class Derek Lewis was in.
So maybe
he's just a troll, man. He's just troll. If you listen to him, he does troll stuff like that. Like he calls basketball players baseball players. He's just, that's what he gets paid to do, man.
He gets paid for being a look. I won't not like for example, like to me the nose. There's nothing for ESPN, but I'm just like, hey man, go get paid, take care of your family. Same thing with this guy. If being an annoying troll little cunt face gets paid, as long as you're not hurting people, get paid. Fuck. First thing is O'Malley will grow from it 100%. I think it's the takeaway point that we're getting from out of this whole thing. O'Malley's a good kid. Listen to his pod. He'll definitely grow, but needed some humble pie. He did. He was talking. So was Chito, talking a lot of shit too. But there was a lot of like O'Malley saying some shit. Asking was clowning him for getting stretched out. Clowning O'Malley?
Yeah, he was clowning nobody for nothing. God damn it!
Askren was talking about making. He was trying to make COVID jokes, and I'm just like, all right, dude, you need to chill the fuck out.
Askren was just saying that he would never get taken out on a stretcher, and he should have just walked out of there. Yeah.
What a stupid thing to say.
Yeah, but it's Ben Askren again, a troll.
Yeah, true. Fair point. He's probably just fucking shooting his mouth off, trying to get some attention.
The only way trolls thrive is by getting attention. So you want to troll to fucking die off, ignore him. Head Kick says not happy that he got injured, but maybe this humbles right. Basically, that's what we're getting out of this whole thing. He's going to grow from it. Props to Chito though. He definitely gained a bunch of fans from Saturday, and my tweet was technically correct that Chito was going to ruin a lot of people's Saturdays, and he did. So there you go. Oh, here's a good point. This is his 3rd fight in 6 months.
Yeah, see,
yeah, that's a good point.
At 5'11", so that makes sense. He mentioned he'll probably move up. He wants the belt and to defend first, though. He'll naturally get bigger as he ages. That's the thing. It's not like he's on the clock, like he's gonna fucking run out of time. But his body's gonna start catching up to him real soon.
Yeah. And how old is he? He's super young, right? He's like 20 something.
You should say right here, no? No, it doesn't say on here. My bad. Yeah, he's 20. He's young as fuck. He's got time. He'll be fine. Yeah. His last fight was a great robbery night. I'm pretty sure when Hill lost by horrible decision as well. Are you talking about Vera? Yeah, Vera got robbed that night, I think. Let's see. He needs a Tony Ferguson bone strength camp. Chopping banana trees with his legs. Tony Ferguson is a psycho. He kicks fucking like metal poles.
Yeah,
25 years old.
Yeah, don't take any advice from Tony Ferguson unless you're Tony Ferguson.
Yeah, pretty much. Corner yourself if you're Tony. All right, main event: Stipe Miocic stamps himself, arguably as the best UFC heavyweight of all time, with the win over Daniel Cormier. On that point, first, Fred, UFC heavyweight, I think greatest of all time for sure, but overall heavyweight in MMA, still got to deal with Fyodor and all those guys. What do you think?
Yeah. Overall,
yeah,
man. Stipe is the greatest heavyweight of all time.
Okay.
I mean, look, the only real argument probably is Fedor at this point.
Right.
More than likely. Maybe Verdum, you could have that discussion, but Stipe disposed of Verdum, so it's kind of hard to make that argument. Here's the problem with Fedor. If we want to keep it a bean, Fedor fought a lot of cans.
He did.
Stipe, to his credit, has fought 0 cans. He's been in the UFC for a month of Sundays, and every fucking fight he has had in the UFC has been against goddamn animals. Even when he got knocked out by Stefan Struve, that was 45 years ago when Stefan Struve was a hot prospect who was fucking 7 feet tall, a goddamn fucking world champion kickboxer. I mean, there was a point in time for all you motherfucking young bloods think Stefan Struve's just the weird fucking Norwegian kid with the fucking worm heart. There was a point in time where Stefan Struve was a bad motherfucker and he was fucking huge. So by strength of schedule, if we're just keeping it a bean, Stipe Miocic's record is way more credible than Fedor's. I love Fedor. I love the way he fought. But realistically, putting their fucking resumes up against one another, there are so many fights where Fedor was fighting he's got the win over Brett Rogers. He's got wins over fucking Matt Lindland. I mean, come on, boys. Matt Lindland could have fought at 170 in the modern UFC. That'd be like Stipe having wins over Colby Covington. So if Stipe was, around when Fedor was around and he was getting those fights and he was fighting ex-bouncers and, I mean, again, Fedor, I was around for those times. They were glorious days. And Fedor did have some big fucking wins. But, I mean, some of his biggest wins in hindsight were, his biggest win was probably Minotauro Nogueira in Nogueira's prime or the Crow Cop win in Pride. In Crow Cop's prime. And those were great wins. But other than fucking that, who the fuck did he really fucking beat in the grand scheme of things? Then he got fucking knocked out by Hendo, a fucking middleweight. He got submitted by fucking Fabricio. He got pounded out by Bigfoot, who's doing God knows what now. I mean, again, I love Fedor, but I think a lot of that shit is nostalgia. And listen, I'm also not completely sold, just to finish this whole thing off, on Stipe. Stipe is the heavyweight GOAT for now. I do not think he will stay that person. I don't think the heavyweight has found its Anderson Silva yet or its George St. Pierre. I think we're still... Listen, if they line up the fight with Stipe and Francis tomorrow, Stipe Miocic is an underdog.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the heavyweight GOAT ain't no fucking dog once we crown him the heavyweight GOAT. That ain't how this shit works. George wasn't no motherfucking underdog in none of those fights. Anderson wasn't no underdog in none of those fights. When we all agreed that they were the king, when it was undisputed, we were like, yeah, he's that guy. They weren't underdog against nobody. Stipe will still be an underdog against Francis. That I don't know why, but that means something there.
Right.
And maybe Stipe goes on to knock out Francis and win 5 more fights and cements himself as that guy. But for right now, he's the dude, but I'm still not sold.
Okay. With Fedor, his losses come, there's one way back in 2000 against Tsuyoshi Kosake, got TKO'd in the first round.
That was a cut. That was due to a cut.
Right, yeah, but technically a TKO. Fabrizio submitted him, and Antonio Silva got TKO'd him in strike. These both of those in strike fours, and Dan Hendel, like you said, TKO'd him too. And then no losses until 20, and that was the last one was 2011. No losses until 2017 when Matt Mitrione knocked him out. Remember that double drop, and then Matt just happened to be the one to get up faster. Then Ryan Bader and with whatever that means to anybody at this point. Ryan Bader knocking him out in 2019, but he's got win everybody. Like I said, Mirko Krokop, Big Nog, what else? Mark Coleman, Kevin Randleman, Tim Sylvia, Andrei Arlovsky. Who else we got? Jeff. He fought Jeff Munson. I forgot about that. That dude fought everybody. Fabio Maldonado, which honestly shouldn't. I thought he lost that fight, but whatever.
Bro, and Fabio's a middleweight. Listen,
Fabio's a middleweight.
This is
that's the one where
I'm just trying to compare.
Fabio was like whooped his ass for like 3 rounds, and they kept reviving Fedor in the corner, right? Between rounds.
It was in Russia.
It was in Russia. It was EFN. It was EFN in Russia. So yeah. And then wins over Frank Mir, Chael Sonnen another middleweight, and Quentin Jackson another middleweight. So it's a little weird. But looking at Stipe's resume here, if I can fucking pull it up, stupid ass Shirt Dog website. Losses are to Stefan Struve, Junior Dos Santos, Stefan Struve back in the fucking day, like Fred was saying, JDS and Cormier in 2018. But he's beat fucking everybody else. Roy Nelson, whatever that means to anybody. Gonzaga, he's got a win over Maldonado as well. Mark Hunt, Arlovsky, Verdum, Overing, JDS, and he's got the win over Ngannou, and then 2 in a row against who would have been probably the greatest heavyweight of all time in DC. So the resumes to me, Stipe is higher or better.
And that's ironic. I forgot that Stipe fought Maldonado. That's ironic that they have. Go back and look at that Stipe fight.
Yeah.
Stipe beat the dog shit out of Fabio Maldonado.
Fabio had no chance.
Fabio went the fuck back to middleweight somewhere. He got the fuck out of the UFC after that beating. He fucked off somewhere. They thought that he beat Fedor. It wasn't close when he fought Stipe.
At all. So, if anything, Fabio fighting that, you can see it in his face. He's like, "What the fuck am I doing? No, I'll get on that treadmill, dog. I'll cut weight. I'm cool."
Yeah, he was cool on heavyweight after Stipe, Jack.
Right. So I mean, again, we're gonna have this debate for years, depending on what Stipe does in the next couple of years. He goes on another run. At some point, there's gonna be no question that Stipe is the best. But there's gonna be questions until he beats, Ngannou, and who knows who the fuck knows what's gonna happen with Jon Jones. But apparently, this is legit, and we're gonna get into that right now because Jon Jones has officially entered the light heavyweight strap, and according to him, is moving up to heavyweight.
Is that
we've been waiting for this? He said that shit. So we've been waiting for. Go on Twitter. We've been waiting for this shit from Jones for a long ass time. We're tired of him fighting blown up middleweights. We need some new blood at 205, or at least some more excited at 205. And now we got it. Jones leaves. We get Reyes versus Jan for the belt. The funny thing is, no matter who wins it, they're gonna be like, well, they're not the real champ because they didn't beat Jones. Whatever. But Jones left. It wasn't like Jones got stripped. Jones fucking left. Okay. Anyway, but Jones at heavyweight. No word on when that's gonna happen. Dana White did say he's not gonna jump Ngannou for the title shot, so we're gonna get Stipe and Ngannou next. But Fred, Jon Jones at heavyweight. What do you think?
What the fuck? I'm fucking hard as a goddamn fucking rock, buddy. What's not to fucking like? If you are a fan of the fucking sport and you're not a fan of this move for Jon Jones, you're fucking a moron. I mean, what's not to like about this? 205 could not have been more still. I mean, what were we going to get? A rematch with Reyes or a fucking fight with Jan Blachowicz? Right. I mean, seriously, man, nobody wanted to see that. There's a dozen interesting fights for Jon at heavyweight. Any fight for Jon at heavyweight's interesting just to see how he fucking does at heavyweight. He's the last of the great champions that hasn't moved up. I mean, everybody, even punk ass George St. Pierre, even though he fucking left for a year and a half and he came back and cherry picked the one-eyed Michael Bisping, all things considered, he did move up to middleweight and take that fight. John's the last Mohicans to do this, man. It had to happen. I hope nothing's done until they're in the fucking cage. But all things considered, assuming this does happen, yeah, what's not to love, man? I mean, we can go back and forth. There's about 5 guys off the top of my head that I would love to see him fight at heavyweight. He could get the double belt thing. I mean, yeah, there's nothing to not like here for me at all. And yes, Reyes and Jan Blachowicz will be fighting now for the 205-pound belt. Interesting fight. Whoever wins, you're going to get shit on because you're not Jon Jones. But here's the thing, right? If Jon goes to heavyweight and he wins and he stays there for a while, you will eventually get your credit at 205 if you keep winning. And more importantly, if you do it impressively. Also, I know there's a lot going on right now, but I'm jumping ahead. Y'all heard that Anthony Johnson is also getting back in the pool to come back. Right. So to keep it a buck, I'm telling y'all right now, I was never sold on none of these fools. Tiago, Reyes, none of y'all. If AJ gets back in and they let him in and them steroids get out of his system, you're all dead. You're fucking dead. Reyes, whoever wins that belt, congratulations. You get to welcome Anthony Johnson back to 205. And if he hasn't really fallen off a cliff or something, we'll talk. The modern day 205, DC was just a nightmare matchup for him, man, you know, at 205. But now that DC's gone, JJ's gone, AJ could be a real fucking problem at 205. And if he comes back and wins the belt, all of a sudden, I'm nice and hard for 205 again because that's somebody that Jon hasn't beaten. So, you know, let's say for all intents and purposes, I think we all assume Dominic Reyes will win the fight, right? Yeah. He'll probably be favored. Let's say Dominic Reyes wins. I think Dominic Reyes is a great matchup for AJ. He'll stand right there. He'll stand at range. AJ will fucking thunderclap him. He goes down. Boom. Belt goes on AJ. AJ defends that belt once or twice and gets 2 impressive knockouts or something. We'll be fucking clamoring for that fight. And by God, if Jon actually has the heavyweight belt by then, all fucking so this is fucking great for everybody involved. Right? I'm glad Jon decided to do it. UFC paid it or whatever whoever did whatever the fuck. This was fucking great for everyone. And most importantly, us as the fans. Yeah. We're gonna get some great fucking fights out of this.
At 2 divisions. Great fights at 2 divisions. It's gonna be great.
Right.
Jesse Jones the heavyweight. No DC to fight, and everyone's talking about DC might come back for that. I highly doubt it. But if we get Jones, either Stipe or Ngannou, do you think Jones? Okay, because I was playing devil's advocate. I'm like, what if Jon Jones, who physically towers over most light heavyweights, especially the middleweights that blow up and come in, right? He's gonna be fighting guys with the same attributes as he has, same height, reach, might be stronger than he is even in some spots. Do you think Jon Jones might be a bit of a letdown at heavyweight?
No.
Okay.
Do you guys remember what happened after Brock Lesnar came into the UFC with all the heavyweights?
Everybody got bigger?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Do you remember why? Because everybody thought that they had to get bigger to deal with the big guy, right? And then it took a guy like Cain Velasquez to show that you didn't have to be, at the top end of 265 to beat that guy, right? And I think Jon Jones coming in at 220 is going to prove to everybody that you don't have to be 240, 235 and up to be a successful heavyweight. And I think what might happen is we might see the new resurgence of the new heavyweight, actually being a lighter, thinner guy to be able to handle the speed, because I think that's what's going to be the difference. I think a lot of people are gonna think that they have power over Jon Jones, but they're not going to account for the speed. Right. And if you look at most heavyweights, they're not that fast. They're not as fast as what people can do at 205 and less. So Jon Jones is used to those guys that are heavy hitters but are pretty fast. And I think that speed is going to make a big difference. And I think you're going to see, if Jon Jones is able to actually prove that to everybody, that, not being as big and being lighter and more agile is an advantage. You're going to see a lot of the heavyweights cut down in weight and really slim down and try to get that speed back into the heavyweight division, which could make it exciting. But you know what? I'm gonna crap on Fred's parade here, and I'm gonna say, yeah, Jon Jones left 205, vacated, quote unquote, because he probably knows that his time is up at 205. He sees the landscape, and he sees that one of these not so highly touted contenders is going to knock him off the top, and he's going to lose his title. So might as well move up to heavyweight now before some second rate guy takes him out. So good move by Jon Jones. Good read of the room, knowing when it's time to fold him.
I don't know about all that horseshit there at the end, Jesus, but I will say this to push back a little bit on what you said, though, to Eddie's question and point a little bit. Maybe. I tell you this. For me, over the last few years, there's been two Jon Jones. There's been the Jon Jones that fought DC and Alexander Gustafsson. And then there's been the Jon Jones that fought fucking Thiago Santos and Dominic Reyes and Anthony Smith. If that guy goes to heavyweight, I think he gets fucking worked. I think he gets worked, and we're all shocked. Like, low key, if that guy, the guy that fought Dominic Reyes, the guy that fought Thiago Santos, if that guy fights Stipe or Francis or fucking, God forbid, Derek Lewis, I think he gets knocked the fuck out for the first time in his life. Now, on the flip side, if the guy that fought DC or Alexander Gustafsson that second time shows up, I think it's fucking hell for anybody on planet Earth. The question is, what Jon Jones shows up at heavyweight? If he fucking shows up determined and nervous and on his P's and Q's and fighting to the best of his abilities, then he's going to be a lot to handle. He's smart, he's fast, he's strong. He can do it all for sure. But if he lacks, if he drinks a little bit of the Kool-Aid, if he's not inspired, if he fucking thinks that he can't get got, if he lacks up a little bit, one of those big dudes will knock him the fuck out. Yeah, because he's not going to be, even if he's the same size or a little bigger, he ain't going to be towering over nobody no more. There'll be no more of that. Like, he won't. The physical attributes that he's been able to lean on in these last couple fights, he will not be able to do that at heavyweight. He will have to destroy these gentlemen. They will not be available to be laid on.
But you know what? You know what the thing is, though, Fred? I think that would have been an argument you can make to Jon Jones before Gustafsson. Now that he's had those fights with Gustafsson the second time, like you mentioned, like Maheta Santos, these guys that were bigger for 205, and had that ability to challenge him in the reach and all that, all those other departments that he has an advantage of. You saw that he changed up his game to really maximize, and outpoint all those guys pretty easily. Like you said, Fred, in all those fights, even though they were close fights, he was toying with them, right? Like, he knew exactly what he had to do to win those fights. And I think that he's maximized his game to the point where now with the heavyweights, he's gonna have those advantages going in up against these guys that probably, in my opinion, wouldn't have seen somebody as quick as Jon Jones moving up to heavyweight. I think his speed is going to be a big difference as long as we don't get Jon Jones versus Brunson, when he was doing all the weightlifting and stuff, and even Greg Jackson was in his corner like, we're not going to lift weights anymore, are we, John? In between rounds, like, he was like scolding him like a little kid for lifting too much weights. As long as he listens to Greg Jackson and does what he's been doing, just kind of bulks up a little bit more, doesn't go heavy on the weights, I think people are going to be surprised of how much speed it brings to the heavyweight fights.
But here's a little bit of the problem too, though, man. Jon Jones wasn't really a power puncher at 205. Nope. A long time ago, he said he wanted to get a finish by every method. He wanted a submission. He wanted a TKO. He wanted a KO. You know what he never got? That one-punch KO. He always said that he was looking for it in fights. He never got it, to the best of my knowledge, right? Jon's never had a one-punch knockout.
No, never had a quitter.
Just not how he works. Now, if he can't achieve that at 205, it's going to be even harder at heavyweight. Now, I could be wrong. Maybe he's quicker and it's just he lands the shot more precise and down goes Ngannou. But one would think if you have slight problems knocking people out at 205, you ain't going to be just destroying people at heavyweight. It's going to be even harder to put one of those big boys down. So I think Jon Jones at heavyweight's just intriguing on a million levels, man.
You're right. Yeah, that's a takeaway, right? The intrigue that we're going to have of what it looks like Jon Jones at heavyweight. I agree with you, Fred. It's possible, but I also think that we all know that Jon Jones is a bigger dude and he has to cut weight to 205. He's not able to just kind of eat whatever he wants and do whatever he wants and just train at whatever weight. Like you could see, like what I could see happening is the Frankie Edgar effect, right? Frankie Edgar basically trained and lived and was at 155 his whole life when he was a champ. Didn't have to cut weight, would come in fully hydrated, super happy, and had these outstanding performances. Even the big guys that would hit him, he wouldn't, get KO'd because he was at optimal levels. And I think Jon Jones being, super healthy, not having to cut weight and all that stuff, I think that would be a big difference for him too.
Agreed. And this is the last point because we got to keep moving. To me, we could say that about any heavyweight. Very few heavyweights cut weight. Very few. So they're all optimal. So we'll see. I'm with Fred. I think it just shows up. It depends on who fucking shows up on fight night. Anyway, all right. I'm going to do some, not really fight announcements. I think everyone's announced these, but let's talk about very quickly. Hard or not for these fights. Ready? Otis brings them all up, by the way. Glover Teixeira versus Thiago Santos.
Oh, yeah. That's a good fight. And very evenly matched and perfect time in their careers. Can Glover still hang, or is Thiago ready to come back and be like, y'all must have forgot?
And is it possible that Thiago might have fucked up taking this fight before Jones dropped the belt? So we'll see. Donald Cerrone Nico Price, September 19th. Solid fight.
Shout out to Cerrone, man, for always taking the fucking hard fight. A lot of motherfuckers say, I'll fight anybody anywhere. Boy, does Cowboy mean it. All
right. Johnny Walker versus Ryan Spann, September 19th.
Fantastic fucking fight. This is the fight that Johnny Walker probably should have been in about 6-8 months ago, but fair enough.
All right. This is one that has been weird. I want to say it was scheduled like 2 or 3 times before, but Hall versus Anderson Silva. Uriah Hall against Anderson Silva.
I mean, at this point for me, it's a little weird to get excited about Anderson Silva versus anybody because he's just been through the ringer so much. But it's fun. It seems a little unfair though, kind of at this point. It's like if Uriah Hall does come out and spinning heel kick Anderson and knock him out, what does that mean? It doesn't mean that Uriah Hall is a better fighter than Anderson Silva. It means that he fought Anderson Silva when Anderson Silva shouldn't have been fighting somebody like Uriah Hall. I mean, just to be fair, Uriah Hall's a bit long in the tooth, but hell, we might be considering him to actually possibly make a run of the title. Anderson Silva should be fighting Ken Shamrock at this point.
Anderson's 45 years old too.
Yeah, I mean, when Anderson lost to fucking Derek Brunson, all due respect to Derek, I mean, I knew the fucking cat was out of the bag with Anderson. I mean, and now he's fighting Uriah Hall. Yeah, stylistically, it seems kind of fun, but it's a little fucked, to be honest.
Right. Derek Lewis versus Curtis Blades on November 28th.
Tell you what, if John can't get an immediate title shot, I like the winner of this fight for John, and I'm rooting for the Black Beast, baby. Please, I think I would love that fight for John at heavyweight. I would love for him to have a personality to compete against. Like if he can't get a title shot, I would like for him to have a personality to compete against.
Right.
And somebody dangerous, but quite frankly, winnable. I think if Derek Lewis gets another win, him and Jon Jones could be a lot of fun at heavyweight, and it's a real test because Derek Lewis is a real fucking heavyweight.
Huge fucking heavyweight. Brian Ortega versus Korean Zombie, October 17th. About goddamn time.
This is a fucking amazing fight. When you add in the personal history that they have and shit, like I wish this fight was a little sooner, man. This fight is fucking fantastic. And also, y'all must have forgot about both of these gentlemen. Whoever the fuck comes out on top of this fight, I think gets the title shot immediately. Like that, this is a good fight. Two really, really, really talented guys.
Yeah, Volkanovski, they ain't gonna give him max for a third time right away like that. So,
like low key dog on some real shit. I think Brian Ortega gets shit on way more than he deserved, just in cage wise for what happened in the Holloway fight.
Right.
Like, I think low key Brian Ortega could submit Volkanovski relatively easily. Styles make fights, man.
No, 100% true. All right. Dominic Reyes with Jan Blachowicz. We talked about that. Solid fight.
It's a good fight. I still think it's just the building block. It's the beginning of what's to come at 205. Again, I think that's we're picking the lamb to the slaughter for when we let AJ back in the. But I think that's what's going to happen. AJ Jones back in the testing pool. Hopefully by end of the year he can get a fight in, and whoever wins this fight, good luck to you, big dog. You get to welcome AJ back to the UFC.
I really hope that AJ doesn't pop for something. Edson Barboza versus Sodiq Yusuf, October 10th. That's a good fight. Here's a good one. Tyron Woodley versus Colby Covington, September 19th. Honestly, opinions come from everywhere.
It almost seems too good to be true. God, I hope that fight happens. Like,
I hope it happens. I'm not convinced it will. We'll see though. Here's one that Jesse would definitely not watch. Greg Hardy versus Mo Green on October 31st.
Yeah, listen.
I'm kind of done with Greg Hardy.
Like I'll watch, but he ain't that dude. We'll see what happens. But
right,
Maurice Green might very well put it in the hype train.
Fuck him up.
So yeah.
Right. Here's a solid just like when I first heard about it, I was like, what, really? But Robbie Lawler stepping in at short notice against Neil Magny, August 29th.
Oh God, I hate y'all.
I know. If y'all don't know.
Why y'all gotta do me like so? Y'all gonna let Neil Magny beat Robbie Lawler on me, huh? Y'all gonna do me like this? I hate that. Oh, you know what? I tell you what. I might love that fight. For the first round of that fight, I'm gonna be hard as a motherfucker because Robbie is gonna come out. I'm hoping he's gonna come out like he usually comes out, like a house on fire, and he might just knock old Neil out and make my fucking century. But if he don't, I know old Neil's gonna do what he does. He's gonna make the fight ugly and disgusting to watch, and he's gonna win a real dominant victory over Robbie Lawler, and it's gonna fuck up my whole evening. But whatever, fine.
All right. Garbrandt versus Figueiredo on November 21st at 125. This is a copy of the TJ fight, basically.
I love this fight, and I tell you who I love also. Ironically, it is the cocksuckers who are like, Cody's cutting all the flyweights. What flyweights? There are no more flyweights. They're gone. He ain't cutting a goddamn person, and this fight just happens to be fucking interesting. And before one of you fucking pricks jumps in the comments go, he's cutting Takanori shitbird Gomer. Like, nobody gives a fuck. There's 3 names that fly late. Joe B, Figueiredo, and now Garbrandt. And maybe fucking silly ass Henry if you wanted to bring him back into the mix. But there's nobody else at flyweight that's making any sort of real noise right now. Might be a couple prospects for all you little fucking MMA twerps out there. But this is the best, biggest fight you can make and the biggest test that you can give Figueiredo if Garbrandt can actually make 25 at this point in the game by a country mile.
Right. All right. Corey Sanhagen is Marlon Moraes on October 10th.
Fantastic. Boy, I got to say, other than the Robbie Lawler and the fucking Neil Magny fight, okay, Mick Maynard and fucking Sean Shelby, y'all are low-key doing your thing.
I think Sean Shelby's paying paying Joe Silva. It's like, hey man, just text me some matchups. I'm fucking right now.
Yeah, low key. I can't front. You got to give credit where it's due. You got to call a spade, man. These are low key some nasty fights, man. These are some good fights. Good matches.
Jesse's favorite fight of the whole year, JDR with Juliana Pena. Because I don't know for sure, but I'm pretty sure Jesse can't stand either one. Right? Jesse, you muted yourself, bro. I think.
No, he
left. Okay, there you go. That's how he feels about that fight.
GDR, I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry, but GDR is like the 6ix9ine of MMA for me. Like, she didn't quite snitch, but she flat just low-key wussed out. Like, she flat was like, I'm not fighting Cyborg. She cheated.
And I don't blame her, honestly, but still.
Take the whole belt. I blame her, though.
Really?
You did that. That's Amanda Nunes stepped up and took that shit, knocked her funny ass out, and look at her now. Like, that could have been you. Like, you didn't take the fight because you assumed that you were going to lose because you assumed she was cheating. Amanda Nunes, the fucking lioness, stepped up and took that shit and then took all the fucking spoils, too, right along with him, became the fucking woman goat. Now when you see her, it's next to memes of goats and lions and shit. Like, she might not be the biggest box office draw, but motherfuckers like us who know their shit, she gets her credit tenfold. And low key GDR, like we always gonna hold that against you. I will. Y'all do whatever y'all want with GDR. I'm gonna always remember that time that you flat ran from a whole division, Jack. Was like, fuck it, I'm out of here. Take the belt, take it all. I'm leaving everything. I'm going back to 35.
Yeah, she bailed.
Sorry, rubs me wrong.
All right. Somebody brought up. Oh, MDP, what's up? Says when John moves up, is there any chance he could put in enough work to be the GOAT in the GOAT conversation? Yeah, winning the belt and defending it one time.
I mean, for me, Jon Jones is already the fucking GOAT.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, moving up would just
cement like the fuck out of it.
Yeah, would put the hardcore cement in. I mean, for me, you could make the arguments about steroids and shit like that, and I suppose we could be here all night with that shit. But based upon resume alone, Jon Jones is in a league of his own. Habib is cute, but like there's you pull up Jon Jones' resume, and okay, you can argue about the Dominic Reyes fight or the Thiago Santos fight. You feel don't matter. The Matt Hamill loss. At the end of the day, dog, Jon Jones ain't never been beat by no human man, and he surely ain't never been beat down. He never been knocked out. Ain't never been submitted. The goddamn man ain't never been dropped. He's never been punched in the face and put on his ass in a fight, and he has fought the motherfucking elite killers of this world for over a decade. I mean, there's Jon Jones, and then there's everybody else, man, and that's just a fact.
He beat guys into other organizations, and one of them's a fucking champ right now, fucking Ryan Bader at Bellator. So that just beat everybody.
I mean, it made it look easy. I know that was when he was in his prime and shit. Maybe Ryan was young. Cut again. You cut the cake however you want to in hindsight. But I mean, Jon has beaten everybody that's been thrown at him. The only thing he hasn't done is move up and get wins there. If he does that, y'all can fucking forget about it. Habib, all y'all can just forget of it. Jon wins a couple yeah, it's over.
Fader who? That'd be Fader who? Anderson Silva who? That's what's gonna happen.
Yeah, for real.
The only person that ever beat Jon Jones, himself. That's it. All right. So I'll never say John's last name correctly ever again. Block of Ritz is gonna be last name. All right. No DC, no JBG at 205 is wide open now. That's why it's exciting. Shit.
That's true. And if AJ comes back, it's super exciting. I hate to shit on everybody else, but bro, I will be so excited if AJ comes back and gets that belt. Things are going to look real interesting, man. Because AJ should have fought Jon a long time ago. That's like the one dude that lurks out there that maybe could have given Jon some problems at 205. And if it works out like that to where Jon moonlights at heavyweight and AJ sneaks in and gets that belt, so that whenever he does come back down, they finally got to meet.
Super fight.
What a fucking fight, man. And then the only guy that beat AJ, to the best of my knowledge, in the month of Sundays was DC, right? AJ didn't lose no other fights, right? Like since he'd been cut into 70 and no weird shit like that.
No, he did lose some fights in 70, but I don't think he.
Right. But I'm saying like since those
205, no.
Yeah, and even at heavyweight, he didn't lose no fights, did he?
No, he won. I think he won the fight that he had at PFL or what's his fighting.
He fucking broke Arlovsky's jaw. I know that.
He fucked him up. Yeah, let me see if I can pull up his fucking record. Yeah, but that's gonna be interesting to see because we were supposed to see that fight, and then I think that's when Jon hit the pregnant lady.
Yep. I think they were supposed to fight a couple times, man. And then a bunch of weird shit happened.
Yeah. All right. So as far as 205 goes, I mean. He lost. AJ lost to Vitor at 185, and he missed weight for that one. And then he lost to Koscheck at 70, right? And Kevin Burns and Rich Clemente. But those are 70 fights that he should not even have sniffed.
Yeah,
but he beat Arlovsky in World Series of Fighting. Mike Kyle World Series of Fighting. Then he goes into a Terra 205. Phil Davis, Lil Nog, Gustafsson. He TKO'd his. Most of these guys were finishes. And then the loss to DC. And then another 3 knockouts, Jimmy Manuel, Ryan Bader, Glover Teixeira, and then again I lost to DC before he retired. Right.
Yeah. So basically, other than the weird, crazy, life-threatening weight cuts at the beginning of his career, he lost to DC twice. And there ain't no fucking shame at that. So him coming back to 205, if he makes it back, that's going to make fucking shit real interesting at light heavy and heavy.
Right. Okay. All right. I think we'll cut up on all the comments. They're all on steroids, right? At this point, fuck it. All right. Let's talk real quick about this weekend's card, and then I'll check the headlines. Basically, I mean, there's OSP against Menefield, who's a last second fucking fucking or last whatever replacement. But there's Frank Yeager versus Pedro Munoz is the main event this weekend at the UFC Apex. Pretty dope fight at 135. So, excuse me, that definitely want to catch. I think there's Bellator on Friday too. For the first time, I actually know that shit. Let me see if I can pull that up.
Yeah, this card this weekend's a little trash, to be honest with you. But I mean, what am I going to do? I'm a degenerate. I'll be watching it.
Oh, this fucking the Bellator card on Friday is fucking Bader. Hey, you know what? He should fucking jack that name, Bader. Taking Ryan Bader against Vadim Nemkov.
Oh, is it a heavyweight or light heavy? He's the double champ there, right? Bader is
right. It's light heavyweight.
Oh, okay. Yeah, all right.
Then Julia Budd's fighting Jesse Meal, and then Roy Nelson for some reason still fighting against Valentin Moldavsky. And John Salter, I know that name. I think John Salter's from Salty Dog Jiu-Jitsu, right? I think that's right. I think that's right. I think that's where I know that guy from. All right. So at this weekend, 2 cards, pretty solid. Why not? And then last check of the headlines. Oh, real quick. Fucking someone sent me to one of my cousins texted me this. He goes, "Did you know fucking Oscar De La Hoya is coming back to fight?" And I was like, "Get the fuck out of here." I looked it up. This son of a bitch at 47 is trying to come back. How broke is Oscar right now?
Trying to come back and fight who? What the fuck?
I think he's just like trying to jump on the Mike Tyson Holyfield? No, Roy Jones Jr.
Yeah.
Train. Which, by the way, that fight got fucking pushed. Because they think they can bring allegedly because they think they can push it long enough to where they can get spectators, which they could push it because when these 2 guys ain't doing nothing else, they're not gonna get fucking go off and fight somebody else anyway.
To be fair, they are getting fucking old. They might want to push it too long. One of them fuck around and have a heart attack, catch COVID, and bite the dust on us. What the fuck?
If anything, no, Mike Tyson ain't getting no heart attack. That dude's too high to fucking get a heart attack. He's so chill. But
you know what would be interesting? I was thinking, because spectators, I don't know what they're going to do with that. They can probably just hang that shit up there. I don't know. It might be a while before we do spectators, but boxing is kind of hurting right now. They need some money. Tyson and Roy Jones is cute. It's a little fucked. It's nothing, people aren't really going to fucking be coming out for that, but it's very interesting. I heard that Tyson Fury will either fight Deontay Wilder or Anthony Joshua. They're going to do one of those fights.
Yeah.
Why not put that in the co-main event slot on that card? And, leave the people out and just try to get as many fucking pay-per-view buys as you can possibly fucking get for both of these fucking people. You know what I mean? Like the new Tyson Fury fight, whether he rematches Deontay or he fights Anthony Joshua, that will be a big match. And at some point, boxing is just going to have to look at what the UFC is doing and be like, all right, some money's better than no money. At least, because look, at the end of the day, they live or die for the most part on them pay-per-view numbers anyways. The experience doesn't change for us. If they did Deontay Wilder 3, Deontay Wilder Tyson Fury 3, I would order it on pay-per-view still. I don't give a fuck if there's nobody in the audience. And if they put fucking Mike and Roy on there, I'd even actually pay for it.
Yeah. No, to be honest, I'm enjoying these fights with no crowds anyway, so I wouldn't mind that fight either. A boxing fight with no crowd, we can hear everything. That'd be kind of dope.
Why not load up a boxing card, and get as many fucking pay-per-view buys as possible out of it, Put a couple fucking freak show fights and then find another decent, I know I'm fucking talking craziness now because all these fucks belong to different people, but get fucking Lomachenko, somehow get that motherfucker on the same card and just make it a fucking huge, massive card, man, that we just can't miss as combat sports fans. Because really, man, boxing has got some real talent.
Hell yeah.
They just got so many fucking ass fuck shit, bro. For all you fucking jerks out there that bitch about Dana White and the UFC, you should kiss your lucky stars that they run the ship the way they do. And if you think I'm fucking lying, go look at boxing and figure boxing out a little bit. Find out who the stars are and why the fuck what I'm saying could never happen. Why you could never have a fucking Lomachenko on the same card as a fucking Deontay Wilder or a Tyson Fury. What the fuck? Like the all these guys belong to different people. You could never do a fucking major card like that in boxing.
Right. And apparently Tyson Roy Jones Jr. is for charity, so that's another little thing.
Well, fuck that.
All right, real quick before we go, RDA He's gonna come back to lightweight, taking on Islam Makhachev. Damn. Kat Zingano is gonna book her Bellator debut for September 11th. Liz Carmouche set for September 12th. Bellator, chill the fuck out with these back-to-back cards. The reason no one watches your shit is because it's so watered down. It's irritating to even look for it. And then God damn it, Carlos. Carlos Condit's coming back against Court McGee. Motherfucker.
That's a fight he should win.
He won't. Court's gonna fucking take him down because fucking Condit can't do shit.
Well,
and just grind him for 3 rounds and it's over.
Well, listen, maybe fucking Condit just wants a little money to put into his fucking coffee factory.
Probably shit. I don't know. I fucking hope he gets a win, but who knows? I think that's gonna do it. I texted Jesse to see if he's all right, but I'm assuming he had to go back to work. So, all right. Anything else you want to bring up before we get out of here?
No, I think that does it. That does it. We'll see what happens this weekend, and then we got some bigger fights coming up after that. So
cool. All right, well, yeah. Shout out to everybody that tuned in tonight. MMA Gods, Tunes from Twitch. Sorry we couldn't educate you more, but yeah, just keep watching. You'll catch on. Where Jack off of Periscope / Twitter, and of course Frederick, Otis with all the fight announcements and everything. Appreciate you, man. What else we got on here? MDP hung out tonight. Sean Tracy, Head Kick, of course. Oh man, who else we got? Fucking everyone was hanging out. We got somebody trying to scam us for money out of what country is that? This is a Facebook comment. It's a long ass one about needing help, like monetary help to get out of some like Rwanda. Out of Rwanda, even gave me a WhatsApp number and an email.
Sorry, buddy. You ain't getting no help out of the Gym City Jesus or fucking Eddie or Jesus, bro. We're fucked up on our own. If you're still watching,
yeah,
you ain't getting a goddamn thing out of me.
We're all broke, and me and fucking Jesse are working at nighttime too, on top of the daytime. So you need to chill the fuck out with that shit.
We got little punk ass kids and shit. Like you ain't getting nothing, Jack.
You ain't getting nothing from us. Sorry. Go try a bingo hall, like an online bingo hall. Okay. Anyway, you get some old people to give you some shit. All right. Yeah, it's gonna do it for us, ladies and gentlemen. You can, of course, you guys know how the usual stuff, all the social media stuff. That's 1983 for Jesse, at Kirby_MMA for Fred, and I am at Elo32. All the shows are at KeyboardWarriorsMMA.com, and of course, shout out to RepTheWarriors.com and SpicesPros.com, and we're on iTunes, Spotify, fucking TuneIn, iHeart. I'm trying to name all of them, but there's so many. We're everywhere, fucking everywhere, audio wise. Make sure you check those out if you're an audio person. And please, please, please hit the thumbs up button on this. Subscribe it, share it, whatever you can do to help us grow. We would appreciate the fuck out of it. We already love the hell out of you guys. Let's just keep this thing going and get this chat even more packed for the next, I don't know, for the next however long we're still doing this. All right. All right, guys. For myself, for Fred, for Jesse, good night. We love the fuck out of you guys. Good night, Wilshire.